The yellow tones are in and dry, and now we watch the colored picture and we watch the print of this step for where the red tones go. Again, you're working with soup ink, and you cannot put on so much paint that you cover up the yellow. This is to begin your darker areas or to make a color change because the item is going to be redder. So as we're working up in here, we don't want to lose this color. I want it, there's some little dotted lines right down in here, and again with the cross hatching, this is the red brown, and I'm a little bit too heavy, that's going to be too opaque. Going to thin that down again with more blending medium and cross hatch in the next tone, and it actually is going to change the value. I'm going to be a little bit darker because this is basically a yellow green grape, but it has a slight reddish cast right up in there which I can glaze on. This is pushing the dark right up in here so that your eye can move from here to the next grape. I'm going to touch it down just on the pattern line, and I'll soften it when it sets up. So that's going to move me up to the next grape, and we're going after just the dark because these are all yellow-green grapes with reddish accents, and there's a little touch of it right in there. And the red that I'm seeing in the picture right here is a glaze. It's not going to come from this. So as I move down over to this one, my dark again is down low, and I'm about to run out of paint, but I think I have enough to do one more grape. I have some dotted lines right here which are telling me that's where it's to end, so I don't want to quite go that high as it's going to grow when I soften it. We want to see both yellow tones and red tones on these when they dry, and not have everything all one tone. This is a darker value than the yellow, and it's also a little cooler value than the yellow. So where you see a greenish cast in the picture that's darker than the other greenish casts, this goes in. So when the yellow washes and the orange washes, all those different washes come over here, they will change color according to what is underneath them. These red tones will give us olive green colors, where it's clean we'll get bright yellow, where it's muted and soft we'll get a little darker yellow green, and where this is, it goes to darker yet and somewhat olive. So you have to be very careful where you put what you're doing, because it's going to be what influences your colors. Now this has to set up, like I said earlier, depending on the humidity in your room, it can set up anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes. You just have to put some on, give it a little bit of time, and soften and see what happens. Now this one has quite a bit of color down below, and it's in a definite shape. You always want to start your freshly loaded brush where it's the darkest, and then drag it on up, but never as far as the dotted lines. I want to soften to those dotted lines, so I'm just going to come short of them here. So that's the most color we've put in one. but these are fading into the background. Here's your center of interest right in here. So it's going to have stronger color. Another one right below it. And this one's even darker than the one I just did. I've got a little bit heavier load on than I did on this one. And it's forming two cast shadows, one from each grape. And I'm coming again short of dotted lines. Now you can see the quarter of dark here and this one are very similar, but when you look at the colored picture, this one isn't as dark, so I don't have as much paint on that one. Now these are more reddish, but there is a shadow shape right in here on this one, and so I'm going to put that in right like that. There's another shadow shape right here, and those are cast shadows from those two grapes. And there is a shadow shape here, and this is a shadow somewhat from the picture and somewhat from the grape right below it. Okay, now I'm not going to go any further. I have to let the shine go off of these, and then we come, and the plan is not to move the paint. You don't move it, you don't drag it somewhere, you just soften the edge and stay out of the heavier paint because it'll all come right back off. I just have to go in and soften, but the shine has to come off first or it moves too easily and it makes kind of a mushy looking thing, and that I don't want to have happen.